Hello, this is Sharat Kalari and Dina Kleiman from SharePlex Technical Support. Today's topic of discussion is setting up configuration to a HANA Target database. We'll show you how to configure SharePlex to replicate to a HANA Target database. Starting with SharePlex 864, SharePlex can post replicated Oracle data to a HANA Target database through an open database connectivity interface. This provides enterprises with multiple critical advantages such as zero impact migrations, scalability, and integration into your current enterprise architecture. For supported HANA versions and drivers and the data type operations that are supported when using SharePlex to replicate to the HANA target, see the SharePlex release notes. There are several requirements to posting to a HANA target. To replicate to an open target, enable PKUK supplemental logging in the Oracle source database. SharePlex must have Oracle key information to build an appropriate key on the target. To replicate to an open target database, set the SPOCT use subkeys parameter to a value of 1. When both supplemental logging and this parameter are set, it ensures that SharePlex can always build a key and that SharePlex key will match with the Oracle key. See the SharePlex reference guide for more information about this parameter. An ODBC data source name DSN must exist for SharePlex to use. You will be prompted for this name during setup. See the HANA ODBC documentation for instructions. Run the HANA setup program hana_setup on a target HANA system to establish a user account, schema, and internal tables for SharePlex. We will show you how to run the hana_setup shortly. When the source database is not UTF-8 or US7 ASCII, you must install SharePlex, Oracle binaries, and Oracle Client for Oracle character set conversion purposes. Also make sure the parameter SPOPX NLS conversion is set to the default value of 1. You can skip these steps when your source is either UTF-8 or US7 ASCII. If you wish to skip character set conversion, then set SPOPX NLS conversion to 0. The following are the guidelines for using HANA Setup. Run HANA Setup on all target HANA instances in the SharePlex replication configuration. Within the SharePlex cluster, run HANA Setup on the node to which the shared disk that contains the SharePlex variable directory is mounted. For consolidated replication, run HANA Setup for each variable directory. The only supported connection method to HANA is by a connection string. Connection through a DNS is not yet supported. HANA Setup must be run as HANA administrator in order to grant SharePlex the required privileges to operate on the database and to create SharePlex database account. Make certain that you assign the required permissions that are shown later in this video. Run hana_setup as a HANA administrator user and follow the prompts to create the tables, login, and user accounts. Shut down any running SharePlex processes and spcop on the target system. Run the hana_setup utility from the bin subdirectory of the SharePlex product directory. It's important that if you install SharePlex instance on any port other than the default 2100, use the P option to specify the port number. Follow the prompts and you do not have to supply the user, password, and the default database because hana_setup prompts for those and then creates them for you. A successful setup terminates with a message similar to the following, and it shows you the username, database name, and the target specification in SharePlex configuration. For more information, refer to SharePlex 864 installation guide and setup guide. Hana_setup utility creates a database user, a database into which SharePlex can install its internal objects. To replicate to target tables in database other than Plex, you must issue the following grant to the SharePlex user for each of the other databases. The command in BTEQ is grant all on database to SharePlex user. For example, if you want to replicate to a database sales, then grant all on sales to Splex. Grant additional database privileges before you start SharePlex replication to HANA Target. Grant the following privileges to the SharePlex database user where Splex is the name of the SharePlex database user. Grant admin, table admin, catalog read, database admin to Splex with admin option, and role admin to Splex with admin option. Additionally, log in as the owner of each schema that contains objects that you want to replicate, then make the following grants on the schema. Grant create any on schema, schema name to Splex. Grant debug on schema, schema name to Splex. Grant delete, drop, execute, index, insert, select, update on schema, schema name to Splex. On the source, create a SharePlex configuration file that specifies capture and routing information. The components that are required in a configuration file may vary depending on the replication strategy. The following template shows you the basic required components to replicate to a HANA target. Edit the config file and enter the appropriate entries for source database and tables, target database and tables, and the routing information. Here is an example of the config file. In this example, ORCL is the source Oracle instance. Oracle underscore schema is the Oracle schema owner for the source table. Plex is a HANA database that contains target table. Target is the HANA target table. Target underscore host is the target system that hosts HANA. R.Splex is the HANA database that contains SharePlex objects installed by HANA underscore setup utility. This database can also contain target tables or it can be dedicated to the SharePlex objects. In either case, their database is the only database that can be specified with the routing map as R. designation. It's important to note that if the target owner or target name is defined in the database as anything other than the uppercase, be certain to type the name in the correct case. Enclose the name in quotation marks. For example, as you can see on the screen, myschema.mytable is a combination of both upper and lower cases. For more information about how to create a config file, see Create Config File section in the administration guide. Activate config file name using activate config and the config file name. That is it, you're now ready to replicate to a HANA target. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. Have a wonderful day and check out our other SharePlex videos.